Sometimes people ask like, yo D-Boy, what does your setup look like when you play at home, right? So let's show it to you. What's going on, guys? Big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta, and sometimes I do this kind of fun video for you guys where we talk about stuff, talk about deck and deck boxes and stuff. And because I revealed the deck that I played the most a few weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, I also showed this beautiful product that we have got from GameGenic. If you haven't seen the video, you could check it out. And I play on this beautiful big playmat that I got as a gift from my wife, and it's perfect. So when you sit at home and you're like relaxing and you need to take some time to chill, if you have a long day at work or whatever, sometimes you need the kind of therapy that Vanguard could give you. And I do this shadow boxing, as I call it. And what it is basically I play a few games to just chill out. So I have my setup looking like this, and in here I have two deck boxes. One is where my deck is in, and the other one is where the other cards are in. So, and in here you have the dices and the counters that I use, and in here we have the other dices that I use as power counters. So you could take those out as well, as you can see, just like that. And in here I have the extra cards that I have in sometimes to change out of and in my deck. So those we can take out as well, just to show it to you guys. Put this aside right here, chills, and let's put these right here so we could use them. Or I could also do it like that. You will not see them, I don't think that you will. No, you will not. Could move them a little bit like that so you guys could see them, or a little bit of them. So that's fine as well. Yeah, that's fine. So you guys could see a little bit of it. So in here, if you get a card that you don't want to get damaged from a friend or something, you can always put it in that. And in here I have the sleeves that I use, like if a sleeve get damaged, you could easily change it. And also the extra cards that I could put in my deck if I just want to switch them fast, because we're talking not tournament play, we're talking about playing at home, chilling. Normally I have the big binder with me as well if I chill at home, but yeah, we're talking mostly about just picking stuff up if you want to do a fast game or something. Right, so in here we open this up and we have the complete deck as this. I'm going to put this one back. So normally my setup would look like is I will put this one right here up top, and then the deck, I think this is still in the right order so I could show it to you, and then we will open this up later. So in here, if you look at the deck as in how it looks right now, we're talking about Unrivaled Bruce. We have the order cards being Hellblast, Full Dive. As we go to the Great Force, we have the two Bruce right here, and we have two more orders. I still play this one, it does fit the deck the most. And of course we have Inventaria, as now we could play it in our Great 4 Bruce decks. And then for the Great 3s, we have Ryan's, we have Mayuri, we have Dragon. These are the beautiful 4/4/4. Yeah, they just work the best in this deck. Same for the orders, we don't need any changes there. For the Great 2s, I play 1 copy of Alluring and 3 copies of the Cycler. You could play more if you want to. The deck plays with more good as well. You could just play 4 copies of and take this one out. The reason why I like to play this card is if you go first, it works. While this one would not, because you will not have any energy to blast. But maybe in a more competitive setting or a tournament setting, I will play 3 on 1 just because I like both rarities, or I could get 4 of these, I don't know. I will see. I will explain to you in another video where I play it like this. It's about how many cards you have in your deck that you could fill your deck list completely, that there's no space. Call me strange, call me weird, but that's normally how I do things with rarities. And otherwise we have something else I will show you later that could change as well, which is this card. You could play it in silver rare, or you could play it in the FR. The FR actually fits the deck more because we have more FFRs, but for some reason, if I play 1 copy, I like to play the silver rare, and if I play 2 or more, I like to play the FR. So for now, I'm playing 1. It just acts as an extra order, which is it's quite good. It works actually very good in this deck, and it just helps with creating that power if you just miss the order. So we don't play that much grade 2s. And we also play 2 copies of the cat. The cat is good as it gives you the counter charge, and also it could get you the shield value that you need to survive. 4 slicers are very important to help out with creating more shield and of course making the deck competitive and consistent. 3 perfect guards, you could play whichever you like. I do like the FR one, the new one, but I can't take these beautiful SPs out. The OT, I play the OG SP one. It's the one I like the most. And for the triggers, it did not change. I play 4 fronts alternative arts, 4 of these, and I will never take Bazooka Maisha out of the deck, although that I have the other beautiful crits as well, more than enough of those. For the heal, this is my new favorite heal, so of course playing 4 of those. That's it. The cards that I sometimes add in or take out are basically more copies of this boy. He is actually quite good. Sometimes you need to play more, but then you will take out a cycler or the other grade 2. You could add in another cycler to take out the other grade 2, and you could add in the servant. Those are the cards that you take in and take out. There is no reason to play more Bruces. I've tested that a lot, and it all come to the same conclusion as it is just not needed. So now we could put these back in here, so because they are not needed. So now you know how the deck would look like, and now we could play some games to just chill. This is as I said before, it's my way of sometimes of relaxing if I have a long day, or if I've had a long day and I'm just back from work or whatever. And sometimes sports help as well, of course. I like sports a lot, but sometimes just a chill day of Vanguard helps as well. Alright, let's take this one out a little bit because we forgot this. Let's put it in as well. Here we go. Alright, now we have our deck. Let's give it a good ass shuffle because it is in order. So for you guys, it's a different question this time. It's a question about what do you do if you want to blow out some steam. You do some sports, or do you just chill, or do you go for running or cooking, or you really need a vacation, or just like these days where sometimes you just have an off day or a long day and you want to chill. Do you call a friend to go for drinks, or to go party, or what do you do? For me, as I said, most of the time I could do some sports. I play rugby, of course, or I will just try to play a game of Vanguard. I go visit my friends and we play a game of Vanguard, or I just chill at home sometimes and just do this, shuffle a little bit, and have a shadow boxing game, as I like to call it, when you just test out your deck a little bit and see how it works, and if it wants to work, yes or no. It helps you to test a lot. This is the way that I test before big tournaments as well, because you just know the different hands that you get and what to do with them. As long as you have your deck memorized very well, it will feel way better playing. Now, if you ask about the sleeves, I use inner sleeves, sideway inner sleeves, and I use outer sleeves, as in this time I'm using broccoli. So they are not the ones that you saw the box of, the Dragon Shield ones. Those are strong as well, but I played a tournament before and I put them in the broccoli because the broccoli fits the cards a little bit more. If you want to know more about the outside sleeves, then you could let me know. I could always make a video about it. Alright, so right here we have the right deck and the extra cards that we need to play the game, like the energy cards. So we'll take those out as well, just like that. These are all the energy cards. I'll put them right here, and this is my right deck. This one will go back, and this one will go in as well. So this is how normally my setup would look. You have these turning sideways, and we have the energy cards chilling right here. Normally I use the energy counter thingy, but now I'm trying the cards out as well to see if it fits the playmat without taking too much space out of my opponent. But I want to use the upper side of the playmat for these kind of things, and then I use less space to play. Alright, so let's see who goes first. I have 2 dice right here. I will use the spike dice, and I will use this beautiful dice from Nova Grapplers. This will need to be changed to the one from Dimension Police, and we all know why is that. But now let's keep Nova Grapplers in here. Let's see who goes first. I choose Spike, of course, and I go first. So that's kind of cool. And let's leave this one right here because it will be out. Alright, so let's see the hand that we have got. Now this is quite interesting. We have this as we go first. That's actually quite good. We could make a Bruce, although drawing into a Bruce is better because that will cost you less counterblast. And we have the PG. These two could go back. You could also keep one for that first shield, but I would like to put them back to draw into something like an Order or Mayuri. We drew into O'Brien and a heal. That is fine. The heal could give us good shield value at the start. We need to draw into a Cycler. That would be nice. And we need to get an Order, and we need to get some Soul Chargers because she will lose us 1 soul, and for that we need to create more soul. Alright, so we shuffle, we do a cut right here, and let's put the one in the middle up here. Alright, starts. So we have our starter ready, and we could go. So we draw for turn, we drew into a crit, that's okay. Then we discard her. If you don't know what this card is, I could show you the FFR version of her, because some people always ask me that question, like, Debo, what card is that? And I think this will help you to have an idea on what that card is. It's just this one in a different art, so you could play this FFR or the normal one, or play this one. I just like this art a lot. I would rather play both, but it's too much. I would rather play Energy Cyclers because you could not use her second ability. So now by discarding her, we could ride. And then the skill goes off. We get this one. I can't wait to get the more shiny ones from the tournaments. We put it up here or beneath it, pretty much up to you. I just put them on the top of each other, just like that. And then we will activate the skill. So first, the skill of the grade 1. which means this goes out of the soul, comes behind the Vanguard, and you soul charge 1. Then we activate her ability. She goes to the bottom of the deck by soul blasting 1, and you draw a card. You draw order. That's good. And that's it. That's the end of our turn. It's your opponent's turn. They attack into you. Let's say they do you 1 damage, so they crit. But you could always be like, the first attack I will guard anyway, because for whatever reason they get a critical trigger, you guard it, right? That will not pass. But sometimes I will let the first one through. If they have 2 attackers, I will let the first one through. And let's say that they didn't get a trigger, but we got one. That would leave us with 1 card more. So that's kind of cool, right? So we stand and we draw. We drew into a Marjorie. Now we don't have a Cycler or anything else to discard. We don't want to discard a Marjorie. We don't want to discard a Brian. Actually, we only have these 2 to discard. So we could discard our heal, keep just this 15k shield, and be bold, and ride into the Richard. Now, Richard right here activates this ability, and we also generate energy generate 3. So this one will get out of the way, and we will energy generate 3. So I'll put this right here. Yeah, I love this guy. He is the character in the anime that, if I would be a character in the anime, I would definitely be him. Alright, so now this starter goes into the soul to draw 1. We drew a Bruce, that is good, which means we could be more reckless with this one now. But also it could still create an extra soul if we needed to, but you could always just put it behind the finger and boost. Pretty much up to you. This case, if I don't know if they have a trigger or not, I could just do this, because there are some decks that do need the Counter Blast. But if you really want to do them the damage, you could always do it like that, because you could always eat it up with Marjorie, so that's fine. You do it like this. And also this makes it a target for your opponent to get rid of it earlier, if they have the chance to, by wasting some of the resources, because they don't know you have this in your hand, if they know the deck a little bit. Drive check, another order, and then it's their turn, they attack into you. Let's say in this case you want to guard using this, but then you will have to discard an order to ride. So you could also be like, I will let at least the first attack through. It's nothing, and then the second attack, if they have a second attack, you could guard or whatever, depend on how they play the game. So let's say they have 1 attack, so it's your turn, you stand and you draw, you go to heal. So even if we got the damage, it will heal. Now we generate more energy, 3 more. Let's see. This will, yeah, this will be interesting. So I could move them sideways, or I could put them like this, or I could just put them like that. What to do? I think I will move them sideways. I think that's the best way. Yeah, let's do that and see how it goes. Excuse me. Alright. First we stand. Now we have to discard, which of course we discard the heal right here. I know it's more shield, and I know we're showing your opponents you have 2 heals, but it is what it is. You can't discard anything else to rise into Bruce. And now we have nothing else to put on the table. We just attack with Bruce. Now we drive check. The first is nothing. The second is Marjorie. Then it's their turn again. They hit you with 1 damage. Power to the Vanguard. That is good. Let's say they hit you with a 2nd damage. The Cycler is gone. And with the 3rd one you want to guard, so you don't take too much damage, right? Now we stand and we draw. Drew into a cat. That is good as well. Now we are in the final rush, right? So let's do that so your opponents will not get confused. So we pull the final rush right here, and we energy charge more. So we have lost 1 Cycler in the damage. We don't have any Cycler in the hand, so we could use the energy generators to draw more cards. That's possible. because yeah, this was just a sad game of not having enough cyclers. And if this was a cycler as well, it would still not be in our hand, so it doesn't matter. Right, now we ride into Bruce as we have Final Rush. And we use the energy generator. We remove 7 to just draw a card. Yeah, I think that's in this case the best way, because there's no reason to gamble to get the cycler, and if we get one we could use it next turn because we will get more energy. So yeah, it is what it is. Alright, so now right here you call the Mayuri. Of course we draw into a card. We call the Mayuri, then we activate the order, so we count blast 1. And we draw. And we call something from the hand, which would be another Mayuri. Now we call the Brian as well. And we use the Brian skill as well to Soul Blast 2. Now we have 2 cards in the Soul, but the Mayuri will give us more than enough. And your front row will get 5k. So, and a Vanguard a crit, of course. We get 10k from the order, so this would be 15k to the front row, and the Vanguard will have the extra crits. Alright, so now you have multiple options to do. You could eat up your Brian and hope you draw into a new Brian, because we still have 3 Brians for next turn. Or you want to put the cat on the field, you can't counter charge, and with that you eat up the card on your promo with the Mayuris. That's pretty much up to you. For me, I will gamble into drawing a new Brian. I will keep the cat on hand for now. So the first attack will be this one, and you will eat up the Brian. You will draw a card. You will soul charge an OT. And you will give your Mayuri extra 10k. Alright? Then this will be the second attack. So this is 28-38. It's insane, right? This will go into the soul. You will draw yet another heal. We have no heals left. And you will soul charge a dragon. And this will get yet another 10k. Here we go. And then this will attack for 28. My soul feels different because of the grade 3. That's interesting. Because these are in different sleeves. Change the setup, so now I have to adapt to different sleeves as well. Because the right deck could be in different sleeves if you wanted to. The triple drive right here, right? So this is our hands. We have 15, another 15. So we have, this is another 15. We have 4 15 shields, 2 20s, and 1 PG in one order for next turn. We do need to defend our Mayuris. The only bad matchup for this deck is Bloodmire. I think that's like the worst matchup, but everything else is actually quite alright. Triple drive. First is a critical trigger. Depending on which one they guard and which one they let through. Normally they PG the Vanguard, and depending on how much damage they are. If they are on 3 damage, you give the crits and power to the Vanguard. If they are on 4 already, because they took these 2, that happens a lot, I would rather give the crits to one of them. You could still give the power to the Vanguard, because you make them all very strong. Or you could give the crit right here. They know that you have lost your OT, so there is no reason for them to PT the Vanguard. Otherwise, I would have given the power right here. Second drive check is a cycler. We know that for next turn. And third, this is sad. This is the reason why I normally don't want to use the 7 the 7 energies to draw, because they would help you draw next turn. You could have drawn 2 cards out of them, but it is what it is, so we will keep it that way. Right now you count blast 1, and you soul blast 2 from your right deck again if you draw into another cat, and 3 more, so you have 1 card in the soul, which is very, very good. So these are out. And they restand. No, this attacks again. So this is, everything is the same power. If we get another crit, that would be perfect. If not, then it is what it is. It's a dragon. This is interesting. That was also a soul charger for next turn. We didn't get a Brian. That was also not the best. You would rather have a Brian. But then again, will we create enough soul for Brian? Maybe with dragon, but yeah. Then you attack with this one, then you attack with this into a Vanguard or whatever, and that will be the end of your turn. So these will move away, and these will move away as well. Hopefully get the chance to draw into Brian. Alright, crits are gone as well. And now if you want to look at the hands, Final Rush is gone as well. We have 15k, 5k, 5k, 15k, 15k, 15, 15, 15, 20, 20 in the PG. Like, that's a lot of shield. So right here, we have more than enough cards in deck. We can afford to take damage. So let's say they attack into us. We take it. It's a PG, sad. And then everything else we guard. So let's say we have guarded 15, another 15. And we want to keep this on hand as long as we can. So let's say we give up this, we give up that, and we give up another 15. And we have to give up our PG as well to discard one of these because we will not be able to use them both. Of course, the cat will return 2 of our right deck back to the right deck. So I'll put them right here. Now we stand and we draw. We drew into a crits. We are in Final Rush again, and we have more than enough counter blasts to work with. We energy generates more. And then we have for Cycler next turn if we have enough cards on deck. Now, right here, we will use the order again because there's nothing else we could do. Or we could use the dragon, but we could also order into a dragon. That's also possible. You could also choose to keep up the cat in hand the last turn, previous turn, to countercharge, but with 3 counterblasts, we should be okay. The only downside is that we lost all of our heals, so the only countercharger that is left in the whole deck is just that only 1 cat. So that's why sometimes I like to still keep the cat on hand. But yeah. So you counterblast 1 to draw a card. We draw another Mayuri. That's okay. And we could call Dragon right here. Because Dragon will counterblast yet again, which would leave you with no counterblasts at all. And then you draw another card. That's possible. Or you keep them on hand and see what next turn brings. Because there is still a possibility for you to not kill your opponent on this turn. But I would really, really want to draw into a Brian. So we draw, not a Brian. And we soul charge 2. Alright, you have 3 soul, which is more than enough. And now you could call something from your hand like Mayuri if you want to survive your opponent's next turn. Alright, so no Brian means 5k less to your front row, but it's still a 10k that you could give your front row. You could also choose to keep the Mayuri on hand and call something that could boost, but then you will give up more shield and you don't want to do that. This is okay because they will give you enough soul and you would have still a little bit of soul left for next turn. Even if they kill one of her, you should be okay. But also a reason that you could keep this on hand. That's pretty much up to you and up to what you play against. So this will be your first attack. You eat up one of them. This goes to soul. You draw a card and you soul charge a card. There we have a Brian. 33. Then this one, that's another 33. You draw, soul charge. This is interesting for next turn, even if they kill your Mayuris, because you don't have counterblasters for your order anyway, but you need the cat to countercharge if you want to countercharge. This gets another 10k. Now you have 6 soul, actually way more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 soul, because we had 3, we soul charged 2, that's 5, soul charge 2 more, that's 7. This one attacks the Vanguard, it's just 23 with no extra crits. Sometimes they just let this one through. The first drive check, second is crits. If they do, they die. if they 2 or 3 to pass this, you will still want to give it to the Vanguard. And the last drive check is an order, which we will not be able to use. So Soul Blasts 5. That's too much. This is 6. Soul Blast 5. Count +1. Restand your field. And then attack again. Hopefully we'll get a cat. Or another trigger. A Mayuri. Okay, that's interesting. Then they attack, and that will be the end of your turn. Now, there is a big chance that you will survive the upcoming turn of them. You don't have a PG on hand, but you still have a lot of shield value. You have 15, another 15, another 15, 20, 2 more 15s, and yet another 15. So you have a lot of shield, right? So let's say that the first attack was 25k shield. You could guard with this, and you could throw in this one to remove these 3 to draw into E card. That's PG, it's good. And then let's say that you use all of the others to guard, and you use your PG, discarding your order to guard as well. And let's say that they got rid of your Mayuris, or at least one of your Mayuris, and then it's your turn. So you stand, you draw, you energy charge. Now the downside is that we didn't draw a cat. So it means that, as I said before, the dragon was not a smart idea to use. And then you'll be like, okay, but if we haven't used the dragon, then you will not create enough soul. No, you could create enough soul. Of course, you will have 1 less card on hand, yes. But if you haven't used the dragon, that means you have the dragon on hand, which is a 15k shield. And with that, normally you will keep at least 1 of them. So you'll have 2 less soul. And with that, you could still create the soul that you need. But they need, or they eat up 4 cards. So that's 1, 2 for the first Mayuri, 3, 4 for the second Mayuri. And you just have enough to do 1 drive check. And that's what you could do. So right here, you could activate your order to get in 2 grade 3s back from the drop zone. And you will get this one, and you will get whatever other one that you have, because you have nothing that could boost, which is sad, because that would be nice. And then, of course, you have 1 less card on hand, so you will have drawn 1 less card. So I'll put this one back, and let's shuffle. Because we haven't used dragon, right? But this will even give us 1 extra attack with him. You could put these on the table, and it doesn't matter what you boost with, except if you have a grade if you have a grade 1. So if this was a grade 1, like for an example, it was this one, then this will change. This will be like this. This will attack first, and then you could give the power to this later and eat up this one. But then when this one attacks, you will eat it up anyway. So it really doesn't matter how your field would look like, as long as this boosts something without eating it up. So the first attack will be this one. You have no extra power that you have given your field. This will go to Soul with her ability. You draw 1. It's a cat. You Soul charge 1, and she gets the extra 10k. Right? Now this will go into the Soul, and you give 1 of your units an extra 2k. This doesn't do much, but because this is not on the field, but it's just there. So this attacks. This will go to the Soul. You will draw 1. PG, that's good. Good shield value. But you will not have an next turn. And she gets plus 10k. Then you attack with this. Just 15, but still for your opponent it's too much to deal with, because you're still making the 6 attacks. So you drive check 1, 2, and 3. Nothing. Do we even have triggers left? I don't know. Count +1, Soul Blast, the 5 that you have, and they restand and then attack again with the finger, because you have 2. Remember, you don't play draw triggers. The only thing that could kill you is an OT, but you don't have the OT. Drive check, Mayuri. What's the last card? The last card is the crit. Set. And then you attack. And that's basically it. So yeah, this is a little bit how the deck works. And as you can see, different decisions give you different outcomes. And because of that, these kind of practice games do help a lot. And then you'll be like, are you chilled now or not? If you're not chilled enough, then you could do another game. And this goes on and on and on as long as you want, because why not? You're chilling at home anyway. So yeah, this is basically how I normally relax and do stuff. Let me know, guys, what do you do to relax and to if you have like if you have had a long day and you just want to chill. I think most of us will just hop on a PlayStation or PC or whatever and play some games. And some others, of course, enjoy different things. For me, I think this is the most that I enjoy. Just to have some Vanguard games and to have fun with it. And yeah, it's just amazing. I love the game. This is also one of the reasons why you just chill and play some games. But of course, meeting new people, going to friends, because that's the thing about Cardfight Vanguard. It's not a screen that you play into, the same as like a video game. It's you're playing with other real life people, and that does get you out of the house into different areas, different card shops, different cities, different countries. Give you the chance to travel even far away to Japan to help friends or motivate them to get the win, or to play for yourself because you got qualified. Yeah, there are like a lot of things that you could do. Let's do another game, because why not? We're chilling anyway. Let's say we have won the first game and now we see how this game goes. We could do again who goes first or second. Let's use both dices again. I will go spikes again. I go first again. They keep throwing this strong. Juggernaut strong. Alright, so let's see how our hand would look like. I thought that was the grade 2, that would be fun. So this is a kind of a very strange hand. We have the Bryans, we have the Mayuri, but we don't have any of the other cards that we actually want when we start, like Dragon, like the Cyclers, and like Bruce, or even the Order. Like, we will draw into these later, that's okay. You could try to keep one Mayuri on hand, but for me, to be honest, I think I would rather put everything back. So put everything back to draw into the right cards. So front heal, dang. Okay, the deck is not shuffled well, but it is what it is. Nothing we could do about it. This is not the best hand, but nothing is unplayable in Overdress because you have a right deck. All right. So let's move this out of the way and put our starter right here. Now we draw for turn, drew into Mayuri, that's good. We discard the heal to ride, and now we create this thing, and the skill goes off, so it comes out with a soul, and you soul charge a Mayuri. So we lost one Mayuri, is important to remember. It's their turn, they attack into you 1 damage. We lost a Bruce, that's bad. It's our turn, stand and we draw. Of course, we energy charge 3. And we have to discard something to ride. We'll have to discard yet another heal to ride into the grade 2 Richards. This goes to Soul. We draw 1 card, a dragon, and we have 2 dragons. Attack, we have nothing to call. Drive check. Upgrade 4 boost, perfect. It's their turn, they attack into you, 1 damage. Let's say they want to do you the 2nd damage, you could always guard, because you don't want to take too much damage. Stand and we draw a cat. Discard right here dragon to ride into Bruce, and then you will draw from dragon. That's another cat. Okay, 2 cats. Bruce will attack right here. We forgot to energy charge. Bruce, drive check, crits, and a heal. That's good. Most of the time they will do 2 to pass to this one. So this will pass. That will put them at 2 or 3 damage, depending on how much damage they had before that. They attack on 2, now you could take some damage. The first is a crit, that's good. Then let's say they do another one, that's a Bruce, and the third one you could guard. Alright. Or if they have more attacks, you could of course guard for more. You stand and you draw. Now you're right into Bruce. We have energy charge as well. Now, my good sir, we haven't seen any cyclers yet. So you could wait with these, or you want to draw a card right away. It's up to you. For me, I'd like to wait. I will call my Yuri, activate the order. Count +1, draw a card. Call my Yuri. It goes away. The field get +10k. Now we don't have a Brian, which is a little bit sad, but maybe we draw into one. We call dragon, we count +1, we draw 1, here we have a Brian, and we soul charge 2 from the draw. Now right here things become a little bit interesting, because we could call the Brian to give us again the more crits, but then you ask yourself, do you want to get rid of your Brian or keep it for next turn? I would get rid of him. So we Soul Blast 2, and with that your frontier will get 5 more, and the crits to the Vanguard. And now we attack. This will be the first attack, eating the dragon. We draw, soul charge, and that's another 10k to the lady. Attack goes to soul. We have lost a Brian. Did you see that? So now we have lost 2 Brians. Draw 1, soul charge 1. Another 10k is added. Burst attacks, triple drive. First, cycler, that's why we kept these. Second, now this one becomes useless, just a discard fodder for your PGs. And a heal. I don't know how much damage your opponent has, but you will heal 1 if you can heal. And again, the power, depending on what your opponent is doing, could go to whatever. Count +1, soul blasts 2, 5. You have 4 on soul, so that is good. That's why we would rather keep the Brian sometimes and call something from the hand, because shield value you have enough. Believe me, the 15k's we could have called this one. The 15k's you have more than enough, but sometimes it does make the difference. So attack again, everything restands. So this restands and attacks. You drive check a Brian. Here you go. Perfect. Perfect for next turn. Alright, these 2 attack as well. That's the end of your turn. Now your opponent's turn again. They will have to give you hell for you to die this turn. Like, the only thing you don't have is a PG, right? But maybe you still draw into it. So let's say you the first attack you take anyway. That's an over trigger. Okay, this is kind of interesting because this does change things. The over trigger shield will go to him and you draw 1, you draw a PG. And then they will go and attack into your Mayuris most of the time. Like, they want to get rid of them. Now looking at your soul, you have 4 soul. You could create the 5th soul. No, you could not, but you could countercharge. Or there is a way to create the 5th soul with this if you have the Bruce in your drop zone, which I think we did because we healed it. So there is a chance, but normally you would at least want one of them to survive. So you will guard a little bit just to save at least one of your Marjories. So let's say one dies. You would rather keep both actually. You could also use this for the energies. You draw one. This could also create your soul. And you stand and you draw a dragon, which you will not use right here. Alright, so you have no counterblast, but you could create one with a cat. And that's basically it. So what you do right here is you call up the Brian, and the Brian will eat up 2 soul, but you will be fine, right? So you soul blast 2 to give your front row an extra 5k. It's not much, but it's good, it's fine. And then you basically give your Vanguard a crit as well, just to keep up the crit pressure on your opponent. Of course, you will energy charge again, which means that you could still choose to energy blast 7 to draw a card. You have more than enough, so you could do that. Or you could wait for the cycler and draw with the cycler. It doesn't matter, in both scenarios you will draw only 1 card, so we could do that. So let's energy blast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 is enough. To draw yet another card, a PG. Alright, now we could put a little more pressure on the opponent, right? So we have the cat, we put it on the field, and then use the cat skill to return 2 to your right deck. And with that, you will counter charge 1, because you need the counter charge. Remember, you have 2 soul, this will be 3, 4, and you need the 5th. And the 5th you could create with this, or you could create with this. And that's what you will do. So you could put this right here, and then you could even put more cards on field that you don't want. Or you could put cards like these that you could still use later on in the game if you really have to. And then you could always discard this with your PGs. So this is how your field would look like. This will be the first attack, and this will be 21, 26, which is not much, but it's still good. And then this will attack. You'll activate her skill to eat up the cats, and with that you will draw 1, and you will soul charge 1. At the end of the battle, she of course gets 10k. This will go into your soul, and now the 2k does make a difference. You can give it to him or give it to him, it doesn't matter. Both scenarios he will get the power. Now you attack, now you have the 5 soul. So this would be good because this is 10, 23, 26, 28, sorry, and that's a perfect number. So first drive check, second, third, crits. Again, depending on how your opponent's formation and hands and damage looks like, you could divide the crits or give everything to the Vanguard. So count plus 1, soul blasts. 5, we stand. Attack again. So this is not much, that's why sometimes you still give the 10k to him from the crits and the crit as well, or just give the crit to this and 10k to this. But that's pretty much up to you on how many damage your opponent has and how many PGs you have seen. That it depends, right? It really depends. But let's say that we did this scenario, so this could put more pressure and this could put more pressure as well. We drive check, another crits. That's devastating because we could still do this if they are on 4 damage, and then this attacks, and that would be the end of your turn. So you can see right here the deck is actually quite strong, and the deck does need to be played well to not make the mistakes that lots of people make. Right here, when they attack into you, you have to be smart about taking damage. How many damage do you need? you could create one soul out of this. You could use the order to draw, and then you could create a soul out of this, out of her, or out of the Great One. But how many cards do you have left in your deck? You need 1, 2, 3 for your drive check, at least once. You need 1 to draw, and you need 2 for your Mayuri, and then you have 4 left. One of you want to do a second drive check, and then you could have 1 or 2 that you could take home damage. So you could take 1 damage, cat the other one, but you need more CB, so you need to take 2 in this case. If we take 2, you would still be making soul out of dragons by drawing only 1. That would still work, which would mean that you have 2, 3, 4, 5 with the crit. That's possible. So with that, you will use your order to draw, but then you could not attack with your Vanguard twice. That's a possibility. So you could do that. Let's try it out. So let's say you take damage, 1, 2, and then you guard everything else. So PG, we're just losing too much shield there. Use this, and then use this as well. And you could PG the last one, and this is what you have left in your hand. Like, this is still like reasonable, right? We didn't do anything that was out of the out of this world. So this is what you have right here. So you stand and you draw. I was thinking, where's my other cat? But of course we eaten that one. We got this, we will not use it. Now you have to think, right? So you have again 1, 2, 3 is your drive check, 1, 2 is Marjorie, and 1 is the order, and 1 is the dragon. So if you do that, you die, my friend. You die. So you could not soul charge out of the dragon in this case. You soul charge out of the Mayuri, you would die as well. So you can see sometimes your solutions are not much. You don't have much. If you take in 1 less damage, so this would be the card that you have in your hand, this would be in your deck. Is it playable with just the 1 counterblast? It is, but then you have less power out of your Hell Blast. So that's also possible. And you will need to call this countercharge for the dragon, and then you have 2 counterblasts to work with your Bruce. So how that turn would look like, basically you cannot use the order because you don't have enough counterblasts. So you do energy charge. That doesn't do anything right now, but you do energy charge. So what happens right here is that you call the dragon, you counterblast 1, you draw a card, and you soul charge 2. So those are 2 soul charges. Then you'll call the cat to counter charge and return these 2 to your right deck. And then at this point, you have 2 soul. You have the 3rd one out of this one, and you have 4, 5. And that's it. That's all you can do. So what will happen right here is you attack with this first, and then this doesn't matter. This just goes to the soul and gives one of your units an extra 2k. That's also the wrong attacking pattern. You would rather have them like this, same as last turn. So you attack with this first, then attack with this. Using her skill, this goes to the soul. You draw your soul charge, and then this goes to the soul to give him the extra 2k. She gets the extra 10k, and then you attack with your Bruce, boosted, because why not? And now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 soul. So yeah, you could do 1, 2, 3 drive checks, and then you count +1. You soul blast these to restand, and you attack. Oh, this doesn't restand. You attack again. You have 1 drive check, so you drive check, and then you attack with this and this. Remember, if you have an OT, you could not do that because there's still a chance that you will draw into the OT. It's a 50-50, so you could attack with these first and then leave your OT as a last attack. But our OT was out, and for that reason we had longer turn but with less counterblast. So again, this is a little bit of how the deck works. It's very explosive because that 1 or 2 turns that you could do if you have your Bryans. Sometimes you also have 2 Bryans to work with. You would rather have just 1 or 2 strong turns than 3 separate turns, because with more turns you will deck out. And that's when I said that this deck's weakness is kind of decking out. So against very defensive decks, it could be just irritating for you because you will see your deck going less and less and less. Of course, you have cards that you can play on the deck that helps with the decking out. For an example, you could take out your Mayoris and you could play Servant. Servant is a card that soul charges from the drop zone, and with soul charging from the drop zone, you have a lesser chance of decking out, but you will get them slower than with your Mayuri. So the Servant will give you 3 cards because itself goes to the soul, but then you lose her as well, so you don't have her for next turn. The best thing is a combination of the two to have the perfect balance, but as the deck stands right now, it is actually quite strong the way it is because it's very balanced. And that 1 extra soul that you have, you could create with multiple cards. You have multiple cards that could give you that 1 soul like this, and the same goes for this. But again, you have to be very smart about your counterblasts and when to use them. Basically, each time you use a dragon, you're kind of wasting a counterblast. So only use the dragon, and also drawing an extra card. Only use the dragon if it's really needed. And that's the thing about cards like the one-off that we play, the grade 2, like this one, or easy to explain, this one for people who don't know, because she returns herself to the deck and you draw a card, it's good. But then again, you're losing 1 soul, which means that you will have to eventually soul charge from your deck to fill up that extra soul that you've lost. Which means that she is kind of the same as a cycler, but she is usable even early in the game, like when you don't have the energies in your first turn. But then the cycler is good because you could guard with and draw as well. But drawing too much out of the cyclers will also put you in a situation where you have less cards in your deck. Like for an example, the turn that we have showed you right now, if we have drawn 1 less card out of our Soul Blast 7 to draw a card, then we would have enough cards in our deck to use the first strategy of taking 1 more damage and using our Hellblast order, which means that we will have not 30k but 60k more power in our field, because you have 10, 20, 30 that attacks twice, so it becomes 60k from your field. And that's one of the reasons why I say, like, the cyclers, the energy blast to draw cards, don't always use it, because you will see situations where it will backfire at you, because shield you have more than enough, believe me. Shield is not a problem in this deck, but drawing too much cards could be a problem. And having the dragon in hand is already a 15k shield, so why do you want to draw something else? It's all about the soul charge. That is it, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in our channel. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and chilled with me as well on this day. And we will see you in the next video. So till next time.